Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Frosty back at it again with another episode on the channel. We are back with Schmoog. What's going on, man? Cushion
Frosty, what's
Confessions
up?
is back, baby. Oh my
It's
god.
back, season 2.
Season 2. I'm fucking stoked. The list of guests that we planned out already is fucking stacked. Like, if you thought season 1 couldn't get any better, it got fucking better. And we're just getting started. We're in the pilot episode. Man, how are you feeling, man? It's crazy right
I'm,
now.
I'm feeling great. It's super crazy the past couple months of everything that's been going on. I mean, this invitational is going to be huge for Respawn alone, but also for these creators that are getting into the invitational. And like, it's weird being on this side of things because now me and you
Absolutely.
are both partnered. And
Yeah.
like, this is now like not a recruits pod. It is a
Right.
recruits podcast, but it's like we're partners
It's the
doing a
Respawn
podcast.
Recruits podcast, but it's more about who we bring on more so than having us stand out. And it's like a
Right.
whole new perspective. And it's gonna be absolutely fantastic. And I hope it's going to be just as enjoyable. If not, maybe we can level up a little bit as we are going through, little side
Right.
note to your podcast. Make
Right.
sure you guys go check out the Level Up podcast over there.
Oh, thank you.
But man, the opportunities that have opened up for us since becoming Respawn partners has been absolutely ridiculous. Like, we were told about it by partners in the partner episode, by Tyler when we talked to him. The opportunities are, it seems, never ending right now because we're still being offered, countless things. We're going to get into all those conversations and so much more with the pilot episode. We are going to be asking each other some questions, some stuff that maybe hasn't been touched on in a way that you guys were hoping you would get some answers to, get a bunch of behind the scenes looks into what it's like to be a Respawn partner, what we're looking for in the invitationals, and so much more. I hope you guys are ready for episode 1, the pilot episode of season 2 of the Cushion Confessions podcast. Shmoog, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna let you take it away because I think we got a little bit of a spicier side of things for some of the questions that you have for me. So we'll go
We
ahead
do.
and let you open up with some questions because we need that audience retention. So
Right. Absolutely. So, if you guys don't know, last year with Respawn, we had essentially 10 partners, right? Towards the end. Well, my brother Frosty here did not make that top 10 and 9 partners got partnered. And with that, it was a little bit of a weird situation for myself, especially because like me and Frosty linked up from the beginning to start this podcast and stand out from the crowd. And then knowing, getting to the end and being like, Frosty's not going to be partner, like that fucking, I'm swearing on our podcast, that fucking cut me deep. And I was like, oh my God. So, Frosty, going off of that, reflecting on your journey last year, can you really share some key lessons that you learned during initial challenges that you faced and the feedback you received about being perceived as a dictator, essentially? Like, how did you address these concerns? And really, that's what was brought up to you. Like, I'm sorry that you're kind of coming off in a wrong way, and at this time we can't partner you. Like, what went through your head?
yeah, so the way that I was raised kind of in the content game and the people that I surrounded myself with is probably a lot different than a lot of people are used to if you didn't grow up in the Call of Duty community. I was raised in a way that you joined a team, you became a member of a team, and you are it's like if you're part of the IRL workforce. Like, there is the store manager, and there's coaches, and there's team leads, and then there's members. And the members like take direction from the team leads take direction from the coaches, and like you communicate with the people that are above you. And that's how I was raised. I didn't see anything wrong with the way that I was kind of running heirs to the chairs. And like, I fully understand how people saw that as a dictatorship if you didn't grow up on that side of the community. But
Yep. Yep.
to anyone who is Call of Duty oriented, nobody saw anything wrong with what I was doing because that's kind of how we all think similarly. And as soon as it was brought to my attention, like there was no way that I could disagree with what facts were brought to me. Like when things were brought to
Which is
me
hard, which is hard to understand, right?
right. It's something where as soon as I was able to actually see the way that my messages were being perceived and being told how they were being perceived, I was like, yeah, I could understand that, but that's not how I would take it personally. And it's just people growing up in different facets of content creation. If you've never been part of a team or you've been a solo creator playing cozy games your entire life, yeah, I probably came off as an asshole and rubbed some people the wrong way, but it was fully and entirely like I was trying to help people push to the end when it came to heirs to the chairs. I was trying to stand out from the crowd, and I had the absolute fullest confidence in myself, and that's how it's perceived from some people. And I believe I've resurrected and fixed some of those hurt feelings from a lot of people. So
Yeah, I agree. I think, and it's weird because once we did get partnered and once we did talk with the partners about the situation and like Respawn as a whole, like the man behind the chair, Tyler, if no one knows who that is, it was more of a like people did just perceive it in the wrong way because like you would think a challenge is a challenge, right? Like why are these people working together to like, and you know what I mean, not working together as in like let's push each other to the top. In a way it is push each other to the top because you're going over content with each other and you're collaborating every week. And that was weird coming into this challenge to see that different aspect of things because like you said, the Call of Duty is so cutthroat, and
absolutely.
that's why it was kind
Like,
of different in a way.
yeah.
So
And if you're outside of like if you're in a FPS based game community wherever you are,
yep.
recruitment challenges aren't something new to you. Like there are all of the biggest teams are always looking for Valorant players, Call of Duty players, Fortnite. You know, it's if you're playing Minecraft 24/7, recruitment challenges you're probably only going to get to see Respawn as a recruitment challenge. So recruitment challenges were nothing new to me, and it's kind of an interesting concept now because I feel like a lot of people would consider me like one of the biggest powerhouses in the recruitment challenge for 2023. But coming into it, I only knew two people coming into that recruitment challenge. I only knew two names, and like I wouldn't consider myself close with either of them. So I had to figure out a way to help me stand out. And that was by making a group. First off, approaching Smoog and getting this podcast started, what helped us do wonders. But when it came to Heirs of the Chairs, I had to bring a bunch of people together that I knew were going to stand out in a similar way that I wanted to. People that were from past challenges and they've been in recruitment challenge after recruitment challenge, and they've been part of all of these Respawn recruits challenges, so they knew how it worked. I could get a little bit of insight on what to expect, and it wouldn't be just a bunch of new faces to the scene that we're all getting together and it's like, oh, that's cool, that's 20 people, but I don't know who any of you are. Like I had to strategically form together this quote unquote alliance, is the term that people wanted to use, but I had to figure out a way to push myself further, and that was to bring people together that I knew were going to help make my name more known, and that's exactly what happened. So
Yeah, and I think being open about your mistakes and owning up to them is like super commendable. Like it really puts a perspective on like you can understand the way that people perceived it and that it was wrong. Can you really delve into like how you took accountability for your actions after everything happened, how you made amends, and ultimately like secured your partnership in the end at the beginning of the year?
yeah, absolutely. You know, there was, as I mentioned in the video, when the 9 people got partnered, you know, there was evidence that was brought against me, you know, the messages that were specifically taken into the wrong light and seen in a different point of view. There were people that came to me, and there were people that I went to specifically that I knew exactly who I sent messages to, and whether they came to me or I came to them first. I feel like a lot of the issues were resolved almost immediately. as it wasn't my true intention to just straight up hurt people. And I feel like they saw that as soon as like I communicated with them. And I don't think it was people's intention to straight up like not get me partnered when they brought stuff to, partners or brought stuff to Tyler. And like they just wanted to make it known that things were happening and that's how things were seen. And like whether it's with, whether you're partnered with a product or whether you're actually a member of a big organization or anything like that, like you want the most respectable people on your team. If someone on your team is fucking up and like they are making, some sort of remark that's going to offend like a big group of people, you don't want that linked to your brand. You don't want that linked to your organization because it's going to bring the whole reputation down. So I completely and wholeheartedly understand why I needed to take a step back. And I feel like I made amends with those people by having one-on-one conversations, by correcting people's outsourced vision of me, of who I am as a person. And, I had to wait my turn in line behind, 9-10 other partners that well deserve their place. And I just continue supporting the brand, and I never stopped supporting the people that continue supporting me. So.
Yeah. And I think that is one thing that I think people need to, because what we say throughout the whole challenge is Respawn is always watching. And you'll learn that, you guys, when you're going throughout this whole challenge. Like Respawn will know what's going on, and Respawn isn't just one set of eyes. It's at this point it's 21 set
30
of eyes.
sets of eyes.
30 sets of eyes. Thank you. 30 sets of eyes that will know. And I mean, it's not as much as like, oh, we're always watching you. It's like we're always watching you, like seeing if your content is great, seeing how you are on the timeline. Like essentially it's a job application, right? So that's why you want to really present yourself in the correct way.
And it's not like we're always on the hunt to make sure that like, oh, we're going to know if you're going to fuck up. Like we don't
want you to.
We don't want you to fuck up. Like we're here to support. At the end of the day, we the Respawn partners, as well as, any of the staff that are part of Respawn, we are a pretty closely tight-knit group. And whether we don't agree on everything all the time, or, maybe some things will happen and there is a dispute, we always want the best for each other. And that's with all of our future oncoming partners and everything. We want to make sure that you guys are performing to your absolute maximum capabilities, that you guys are, if something is going down, that we want you to know, like, hey, maybe watch this, or hey, check this out if you're struggling with this, or if you're having mental struggles on the timeline and you don't feel safe with yourself, I can confidently say that you can come to basically any of the partners with any concerns that you have. And I'll speak for myself because I don't want to speak for everyone. You can come to me. My DMs are open. They are open for a reason. I want you to be able to be confident enough within me and within yourself to be able to talk to me, and I will be there for you. We are a safe space. So.
Absolutely. And I think we learned that ourselves competing in this challenge, because I'm going to throw Hydrated's name out there.
Absolutely.
Hydrated was a very good mentor for me and you yourself just throughout the whole challenge of being there for us and answering questions. And when I say answering questions, I don't want people to get the wrong perspective of that. He answered questions in a way that wouldn't give away anything for the challenge. Like it was more of a push in a way of, you got it, keep going, like you're doing great. And obviously in the back of his mind, he's like, oh, this person's like top 10 material, but obviously he can't say that to you, So I think, yeah, anyone listening, all of us are here for you. It is going to be difficult. It will push you out of your comfort zone, but I think that's something that is good for everyone as a creator. And this really made me grow as a creator, and it made Frosty grow as a creator. And I know everyone that we've got partnered with has made them grow as a creator as well. So, so the Cushion Confessions, the Recruits podcast, this podcast, it seemed to play a significant role in not only my journey, but your journey last year, creating a unique mark on the competition from the very start.
Yeah.
Can you share more about how this kind of originated, the impact it had on the partnership pursuit, and what lessons you learned from the experience.
Yeah. So I'm gonna throw another partner's name in the hat here. Kelly is cool. Started up a Respawn support chat at day 1 or 2 of the entire competition. Maybe even I think. Well, I mean, day 1 or 2 of signups. Not even when the competition started. But Shmoog put in chat, "Hey, I'm a podcaster with the Level Up podcast. Does anyone want to hop on my podcast?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm the host of the Brain Freeze podcast. Does anyone want to hop on my podcast?" It was like messages right after one another. We were like, "Well, all right." We hit each other up. We were like, "All right, hop on mine. I'll hop on yours." Type shit. Support for support. And I was talking about it. I thought on it. I sat on it. I was like, damn, wouldn't that be boring? Okay, let's spice it up a little bit. So, we went back and forth, and man, let's launch something together. I've at least been around Respawn Recruits enough to know nothing like a Respawn Recruits podcast has ever been done before. Okay, that's what we're doing. Hey, you don't have a choice. Come on, 4 hours sitting in a call. Let's write up an intro for this shit. I think just under 15,000 impressions in 24 hours caught Respawn's attention immediately. And the rest is history. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm literally getting chills as we're talking about this, because like this is what made Frosty and Schmoog. Like this is what made us get to that level. And I think anyone that needs to stand out, you gotta do something creative. And I think we both did that, and you alone with your originality. I mean, it's just crazy throughout the whole competition. But do you have any advice for any participants in this current challenge who may face obstacles or unexpected challenges along the way? Like it's really just a confidence thing at this point.
Yeah, if I was to give any advice, it's 100%. I mean, you said it. Originality I think was my key factor, and persistence. Even when I wasn't able to upload content because I was working 2 full-time jobs throughout Respawn Recruits, even when I wasn't able to upload content, I made it seem like I was posting content. I posted on Twitter so much that I believe by far I had the most impressions. If anything, I was rivaled by Redhead Vixen, and her community is 5 to 10 times the size of mine. And I was relentless with how often I was always supporting the actual partners. I was one of the first people to actually reach out to the partners, and that was something that they admitted they haven't experienced before. People are very stick to their lane. I'm going to grab their attention by being me, doing this. I'm like, going back to my Call of Duty mindset, if I'm going to be joining like Obey or Soar or anything like that, I'm going to be following the members. I'm going to be knowing what the members like to do. I'm studying the members. I know what they want to see, so I can post that. Because if they want to see, content, like they're liking YouTube videos where it's doing this original concept thing, bringing game shows into the gaming space. Okay, bet I'm putting Jeopardy on my channel right now. Putting Call of Duty Jeopardy, Call of Duty Family Feud, anything that relates the game that I play to the content that they like to view, I'm going to make sure I'm grabbing their attention. You need to be able to do your research. You need to be able to apply your research into becoming the best version of creator that you can be. Because if you aren't launching yourself into new areas of expertise, then what's the point of being a content creator? Comfortability is so toxic, and I hate being comfortable. I want to be squirming in my seat as I'm editing a video knowing, God, this is really fucking weird. And as soon as I feel confident, I edit my video 6 to 7 times before I'm happy with my final product. And even then after I post it, I'm like, that was ass. Because I'm always wanting to improve. I step up and I feel like, yeah, I don't think that can get any better. Okay, I'm going to switch up the whole fucking video now. Like
adaptability.
Exactly. Thank you. Like, yeah. Just always be adaptable and always want to be better for yourself. That's my best advice.
And that advice was great. And I feel like in a way, that's what makes Frosty Frosty. Like what image do you represent yourself? I mean, we talked about it right there. Adaptability, uncomfortability, being the person everyone wants to look to. Like, what makes you you? You kind of explained it a little bit there, but explain it a little bit more for me.
I think what makes me me is my ability to actually, like, everyone says I support as many people as I can. I am going through every person's YouTube videos. When I meet a new person that I want to support, I feel like deserves more attention, I'm going through their YouTube videos. I'm watching all of their shorts. I'm liking their shorts. I'm commenting on their shorts, going through their TikTok reels, going through their Instagram. I'm following them on every social media. I'm in their live streams when I can. Keep in mind, I work 72 hours a week right now. So I am unable to maybe hop in every single live stream or do whatever. But like while I'm at work, I have your YouTube videos on repeat. I'm making sure you're getting the views you deserve. I'm making sure you're doing this. Support is my number one, like, biggest work about me. And then, like, we keep going back to it, circling around it, but it really is my originality, because I don't think there are people that do the ideas that I do, but nobody does everything that I do. People can take little parts of me and this and that, and like I'll post a video and they're like, oh, I really like that idea, but I think I could do it better. That's getting inspired. I love that. But the thing is, by the time that you post your video doing it a little bit better, I completely flipped my video around, so you aren't going to be able to copy it again or be inspired by it again. Like, my ideas flip in my head so much that you never know what to expect from me next, which is why I'm such an exciting content creator to follow, because you can never expect anything from me. I am completely unexpected.
Now, speaking of unexpected and what we can expect from you, aside from the Cushion Confessions, what content do you have planned moving into 2024, if you want to share?
Man, I have absolutely no. I'm just playing. I have no idea. No, nothing planned.
I'm quitting content creation.
I'm quitting this year. Yeah, retiring. No, so I did a completely fresh restart going into 2024. I stopped uploading all throughout November and December to get myself on a track to where I can find my consistency again, if that makes sense. I felt like I was upping and upping and upping my quantity, but as I was upping my quantity, my quality was dropping ridiculously. Yeah. So what I did is throughout November and December, I pre-recorded and pre-scheduled an abundance of short and long form videos and pre-scheduled them all throughout the year. I have videos scheduled for December of this year already. And it's because I'm doing that, it allows me to do one-off videos that make sense to like really only do once or twice, that I can just randomly throw on the channel. But if I want to do a full series, say I do an entire playthrough of Pal World from start to finish, catch all the legendaries, whatever, 30 episode series, I'm recording the entire series, splitting it up into 30 videos, making sure my quality is consistent throughout the entire series, and I'm uploading that entire series to upload one video per week throughout the entire year of 2024. So I know that there's always going to be a video every single week of Pal World, so my Pal World audience will always have something to watch. And then once I have my Pal World done, I'm playing Pokemon, I'm playing Call of Duty, I'm playing Minecraft, and I'm doing the same shit. So I have series on series on series stacked up right now. I have at least 6 or 7 videos set up for every month of the year as of right now.
Awesome. Yeah, really good. That's exciting. I mean, that's, like you said, that's less stress on yourself, because you can then focus on those one-off videos, or, you know, stream once in a while instead of only recording. And I think that's a different aspect of, you know, some creators we've seen in the recruitment challenge are strictly streamers. Some creators we've seen in the recruitment challenge are strictly content creators. Some are a little of both. Some are just editors and graphic designers. Some are podcasters. I mean, there's a huge array of things, and I think that's good that, you know, you got that scheduled so you can focus on something else for your own content under Frosty.
Absolutely.
So a lot of things that happened in recruits. I mean, Cushion Confessions, Heirs to the Chairs, Fellow Sit. Like, you had tons of selling points to become the next Respawn partner. So as a current partner, what are you looking for in these recruits coming up in the Invitational? And it's a weird one, right? Because it's like, you don't really know what you're looking for until you see that
Right.
thing.
Right, because like my
Because
partners, when we launched this, they weren't saying, you know what, I want to see a Respawn Recruits podcast, because like
they just
we
didn't
dreamt
expect
that
it.
up. Like that's
Yeah.
exactly, you be unexpected. That's kind of what I want. I want to be like
You're like, why didn't I think of that? Because how many partners,
exactly
when we did this towards the end, were like, you guys thought of this, and that's insane because like we would have never thought about it.
the amount of times that the word like unexpected or like, bro, that's
Yeah.
next level, or specifically on hydrated, bro, you're a genius. Like, just, bro, you're a
Yeah,
genius. I'm like,
right.
the amount of
Right.
times that I've heard that over the last like 6-7 months with the shit that I'm coming up with, because as soon as I think of something, bam, I go straight to hydrated. I'm like, do you think this would hit? He's like, that's a banger. I'm like,
Yeah. Right.
even when I think it's gonna sleep, like he instantly, it's a banger, and I'm like, all
Gases it
right,
up.
well, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. And I guess what I'm looking for is, I don't think that, and this is treading lightly on the way that I want to word this, but
Yep.
I don't think you can viably be a Respawn partner if you don't support Respawn and the people associated directly with Respawn. So I'm looking for community
Yep.
support. I'm not saying follow me, like all my videos. I don't give a fuck. Like, you
Yes.
really don't have to, but like,
Yep.
I need to see that you actually give a shit. Because if you're just trying to get on to tag Respawn into your bio, like, I hate to say it, but you're not going to get very far, because there are
Yep.
people like that. It's not a numbers game here. Like, we genuinely look for creators that are going to represent us in the best light, no matter how big your audience is. It really does not matter. When I started
Yeah.
in Respawn, I had like 400 followers. Like,
Yep.
I'm only have like 1,000 now. Like, we're not big names, you know. We're
And
not
we
part of these
and we
big
ra-
teams.
yeah, and we range from, small, medium to large creators. Like it's
Yeah,
not like some sort of the the thing about Respawn is it's not an application to say I have X amount of numbers, you can sign me. It's a how are you going to be a good partner? How are you going to
right.
promote not only the brand but promote like your fellow partners and support them? Like there's a lot of support on the timeline for fellow partners. There's a lot of support on the timeline for, past partners. There's a lot
Yeah,
of support from Respawn, the chair himself, themselves. Like it's just a spreadable a spreadable love, I guess you could
yeah,
say.
yeah.
Um
Respawn is a
so
complete. Sorry, Respawn is a completely original brand
Yep.
where it's not plug your promo code here. Hey, look at this. Go buy this shit. Like,
Right.
they are in your streams. They are on your posts. They are reposting your posts. They are commenting on your post. They are supporting the community. They are replying to your DMs. They are active as fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really debated if I wanted to swear there, and I decided I did
yeah.
not care, because they are very
Very.
active, and
Yeah.
it's a completely new sense of what a brand really can be, because there are other brands out there. There's a ton of them behind me right now. There's a ton of them behind Schmoog right now. You know, like, just to share like a shared partnership. You know, Gamer Advantage. Gamer Advantage supports what I put out. They are active with my posts, but it's a completely different limelight to what Respawn does for the community by the community, and that's why Respawn is such a sought after brand by so many people.
Yep. Absolutely. And I think that ties into this next question. Like what we have coming up for Respawn, this was an invitational, right? You had to be invited in here. Like what will hold this group to a higher standard, than with just a normal open recruits challenge? Like this is an invite only 100-person recruit. Like you were handpicked by the partners specifically, and not just the partners but some community as well, but
Yeah, community
um
aspects, everything. Yeah, no, I think there's absolutely a higher standard to uphold because you're not. It's not. I'm trying to grab your attention. Oh, look at me! I'm a recruit. I need to grab your attention to go far. You have my attention. Now you have 1 month to impress me further. Like you have already grabbed any choice of at least one of these partners' attention to be invited to this at all. So what are you going to do to actually stand out now? Because you already stood out enough to be invited to this very, very concise select group. Like there were 400 applicants in the 2023 recruits, and that was the smallest class number by like 600 to 700.
Shocking. Yes.
And that competition went for 3 months, and you had a week in each of those months to try and stand out a little bit more, and you really had time to like let something brew and build up some suspense to this big idea that you have. You don't have that time right now. This is literally the all-stars cast of your favorite reality TV show. These are the best of the best going at it, new faces, old faces coming together, and they are going to absolutely battle it out. This is going to be a killer fucking recruits. I'm super excited.
Same. I'm super excited for the people that have been announced so far. Everything that's going to be happening, like this is honestly going to be something that everyone wants to tune into. And how are you guys going to get your updates? Through the Cushion Confessions.
Through the Cushion Confessions podcast. Absolutely.
Exactly. So off the back of, you know, a long string of success, you seem to be throwing yourself right back into the dog pit with another recruitment challenge. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm currently a part of the Obey Recruitment Challenge. You know, going back to the Call of Duty community once again, it's very COD heavy on this recruitment challenge. They just, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, this might get cut, but they just purged out like a lot of their members, whether they fled to different teams or whether they just released a lot of people that were inactive or whatever it was. So they're looking to pick up a lot of people from what I'm aware of. And you know, I've been super close with a lot of the members of Obey since the last recruitment challenge in 2022. So I have a lot of connections. My audience is more loyal than they've ever been. You know, I'm averaging more likes per post than probably 90 to 95% of the other applicants. I feel like I feel like I got this shit in the bag, but like confidence is the absolute like killer when it comes to recruitment challenges. You can never be confident in yourself. The second that you're confident, you get cut. So I always try to keep self-doubt in my head so I feel a little bit on my toes. The second I'm confident, I fall a little flat-footed, and then my originality just depletes, my motivation depletes. I get a little burnt out, and like if I don't have something to be excited to go to my PC and to edit or to record, then I'm not going to want to do it. So I might as well keep coming up with ideas and keep coming up with new things to bring to my community and to bring to Obey for them to really capitalize on. And it has been a hell of a fucking month already. Just 2 weeks into, at the time of recording this, 2 weeks into the month, I've worked 72 hours last week and 80 hours this week. So my body's exhausted, my mind's exhausted, but just the thought of getting an opportunity like that to grow more and be a part of such a respected organization is crazy. Yeah. They've been around damn near from the very beginning of Call of Duty content, and it's just the opportunity to fight for something like this is really crazy. And the people that I'm going against is like, I thought Respawn Recruits was like the craziest thing I've ever been a part of. There's a lot of variety in Respawn Recruits, which made it a little easier to stand out because I could find a niche that I could capitalize on. Everyone's niche is Call of Duty. There is fucking no way to stand out in this.
Right.
Well, there is. And you guys will see it. But I'm not going to reveal anything. I got some shit cooked up.
Spicy.
that all we got?
That's what we had.
All
Yep.
right, that's what we got. All right, Shmoog.
That was a lot. That 30. Wow, this will be like an hour episode. This will be good.
This will be good. All right, Shmoog. We got a lot of those questions out of the way. I'm gonna go ahead and get into some questions for you now. I think it's time to put you in the hot seat a little bit. So,
Uh,
so alongside Ray, I think it's fair to say that we probably became that podcast niche as far as the Respawn partners go. So is there a certain level of responsibility that you feel knowing that we have that title to live up to?
yeah, absolutely. I think it's really kind of, we talked about it a little bit, at the beginning of this episode. It really is a weird feeling now coming into it as two partners rather than recruits. Like, I feel like we can focus more on the people actually competing this time, and not just, and focus more on ourselves and letting people know who we are, because essentially we made that podcast for the recruits, not for ourselves, but in turn that made us stand out, because it's like these guys are super selfless and they're doing this for everyone to be seen. And now, in a way, this is more of a Cushion Confessions, Frosty and Schmoog, Respawn partners, podcast to show this is what Respawn could be. So I think it does hold a different standard now that we're at this point in time. And I'm just super excited that it's not as not as, I don't want to say stress, not as time importance, per se.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It's like I'm going to use Survivor as my reference here because there's a lot of people who have made a podcast that have previously competed like in Survivor. So it kind of like resembles, someone goes and competes on Survivor, and no matter how far they get, they make a podcast afterwards and they're talking to people that are maybe outside of the Survivor world, or they're bringing in people who have competed or people that won, and it's people who know the space that are current partners. It's like it really is a whole new perspective and a whole new way to, not only for us to host this, but for people to watch and people to understand what we can bring. And it's going to be crazy for the guests being able to have this connection with current partners. When we brought partners on to our podcasts as recruits last year, I was like, yeah, this is our selling point. It's done. We locked it. And now we're going to be able to provide that opportunity for other people and build up their confidence, get them to tell their story like we did last year, but get them to tell their story for Respawn partners. And this is probably what all the partners are going to be watching to learn more about people that they want to know more about. So like, we are that information source for basically everyone right now.
Right. I agree. Yeah, I think that's good. Like, this is like one of the behind the scenes of what is actually happening, because with the challenges weekly, it's usually you see the post and then that's it, right? Then you see the post and then that's it. This is more of a kind of like what we just talked about. Who is Frosty? Who are all these people coming on? Who got invited? Why did they get invited? So it's super exciting to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. So 2023 recruits, full of stress, anxiety, a lot of self-doubt, as I touched on a little bit earlier. So how does being on this side of the table as partners reflect your mentality as we're approaching the invitationals?
Yeah, kind of going off of what we already talked about, it's definitely a good feeling being on this side of things, and I'm super ready to definitely be that mentor for people. Like, I already have people, my vouchers specifically, asking me questions about what can I expect, like what is the best way to approach things. And I'm like, look, as a partner, I can tell you certain things, but I'm not giving you the success. Your invite was like, this is for you and go and do it. Like, that's what it was. And it's like, again, I used Hydrated as an example. He was there for us from the very beginning as a mentor, not as a, hey, you're making it to the end, great job. It's like, you're doing great. You know, just that uplifting. That's what I'm excited to be, and also to be like the voice of Respawn is what we are.
Yeah,
We're the voice of Respawn. So.
absolutely. I've had my fair share of people in my DMs saying, after they've been announced or before they got announced or when we were still picking out who was going to get announced. And it was a lot of, how do I capitalize? How do I show myself the way that you showed yourself in 2023 recruits? Though, how did you come up with that idea? Hello? Okay. How do you come up with that idea like you and Shmoog came up with? How did heirs to the chairs happen? I want to live up to the standard of the 2023 class. And I'm like, I can't give you all the answers. You got to find those answers. You got to know. There is a certain point that I hit in the 2023 class where I was like, I am the next partner. I'm locked. Like, I am locked in. And once you find that, it's done. Like, it's set and done. But you can never slow down. You just got to always keep gas to the absolute floor. So as a partner, as we have been talking about, there's going to be a lot of people looking to us for advice. So without telling people this is how you win, what 3 pieces of advice would you give to this invitational class?
Yeah, so I think one is already a given. Stand out. You guys are top 100 invitationals, 100 people that were invited for an invitational out of many that could have been chosen from. So I think that's ultimately you got that down, but don't let that be, oh, I got invited, I'm good. Nah, that does not stop there. Like, I feel like a couple other points for advice would be, originality, like we've talked about, really stand out from the crowd, and really just the community aspect. Like, everyone in here is here because they're creators. And I think networking is just a huge part of Respawn. And like, I wouldn't have met Frosty if I didn't join that chat and didn't talk about, hey, I'm a podcaster. Does anyone else like to do that? Or, hey, I play Call of Duty. Does anyone like find the people that you have similarities to and then run with that? And I mean, who knows? You might make a lifelong friend out of it, even if you don't get partnered. But again, I mean, it's really all staying focused.
I think the best way that I can, and maybe people are going into this with a different mentality than I had when I went into any recruitment challenge in the past. Invitationals is something completely different. Like, if you've been in past recruits, this is a whole new ballpark. You are competing once again against the best of the best. You are competing against the all-stars. But the mentality that I've always had when it came to recruits is go into it looking to outsource. Go into it looking to grow your community. Don't go into it saying, I'm here to get a Respawn partnership and that's it. Go in there to grow. Go in there to meet new people. Go in there to, like Shmoog said, make new friends. Like, you should be there to improve yourself, not to add some letters to your bio. It would be great if you were a part of the Respawn team. We're all going to be very welcoming to you. We are all excited to see who's going to become part of this family, but don't make that your end all be all. All right. Going from the Respawn recruits and what you're expecting from them to yourself, let's talk about 3 traits that you would apply to yourself as a content creator that you believe made you stand out during recruits.
Yeah, absolutely. I think initially coming into it, super scared, right? Haven't done anything like this before, didn't know what to expect. And then throughout it, just the confidence that I grew in myself as a creator of getting that, oh shit, I made a cut. Wow. Okay, maybe I can do this. And then, kind of talking myself down a little bit. And then I'm like, oh, wow, I made this next cut. Okay, I'm doing something right. Oh, I made this next cut. And I think the confidence grew throughout the challenge. And I think I want people to have that confidence initially when they come in here. And I think that that's something that really, you know, kind of made me grow. And now I'm a super confident creator when I'm doing stuff just through Respawn. I mean, just before we talked, you were like, Schmoog, your questions have gotten way better. And I'm like, that's because I learned and I grew. And that's what the whole thing was about. Even if I didn't make partner, I would have grown as a creator.
Absolutely.
And then also, I do believe my networking throughout the whole thing. I mean, just I was a part of Heirs to the Chairs as well. The whole group that was created during it. And I think, just talking with so many people and getting so many new friends, like that was huge for myself as a creator.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking on it, building up your confidence to be able to do new types of content. You're completely diving into content that personally, when I met you, I never would have expected you to ever touch on, because you are this Call of Duty coach, which we'll touch on in a little bit. You're a very like straightforward down the narrow path. Like, I saw you as a Call of Duty content creator and a podcaster, straight down the narrow. That is it, through and through. Now you're into GTA RP, man. Like, and you're good at it. Like, this is like, this could be your thing. You know what I mean? So
Right.
transitioning away from the FPS games and going into the GTA roleplay world, that is complete, like, not even in the same fucking territory. You are making a whole ass shift to a completely new style of content. What motivated the change?
Yeah, it kind of fell into place. Like I've always secretly watched like GTA RP like on my own, because I'm like, it's kind of like it's a TV show, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're following a character, you're following a story, and like that character is just someone that you can be that you're not. And weirdly enough, shout out Hydrated again. I met this guy named TP through Hydrated, and come to find out, TP was in the same state I am in, Iowa. So getting to talk with him, and he's like, "Hey, you should try this GTA RP. I think you would be really good at it." And I'm like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "I've always seen it. I just didn't know that, that it was open to so many people." And he invited me to the city, and I joined it. And gosh, it's been, I don't know, probably over a month. And I think every time I get on, I'm just itching to play, and I'm at the moment where I'm getting the hang of it now. I can start getting those videos, getting those recordings, and getting my story out there of like my character. And see, it's weird, like, because before I got excited like this talking about Call of Duty, and now I'm getting excited
Right.
talking about GTA.
Right.
And I think, like you brought up, that's the super great quality as a creator of like, I don't want to get on a game as a creator and be like, I have to play this game because that's the only creator I am. Like, I hate doing this, but I know I need a video. Like, I am dying to get on this game to create content. Like, and I think I'm just geeked about talking about it.
So as when I think of GTA RP, right, it's all about character development, and you're talking about, it's like the pilot episode of a TV show, like you talked about. You're getting to meet these characters, and then by episode 2 or 3, you're meeting the main antagonist of the storyline, and you're starting to understand like what the big problem is. It's like you're reading a book, and you're going into all this 5th and 6th grade English class of the plot and the climax and all this shit, and so when I think of GTA RP, I think there's 2 ways to go about it. You either wing the fuck out of it, or you are scripting more than you're actually playing. So, without going too much into your planned story for Officer Steele, what kind of creator are you? And tagged onto that, what aspects of GTA RP content creating are you enjoying as much, if not more, than the Call of Duty content you were creating beforehand?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. Yes, I am a police officer in this city, and it's weird to think about because like you have to be that person. That's the whole point of RP. You have to be that person. So I'm learning more about 10 codes. I'm learning more about this is an arrestable offense. Like, my dad was a law enforcement officer in the military, so I kind of knew a little bit about it. But like, you have to stick in your character in this whole thing. And I think, you know, a character is a play off of yourself in a way. And I think the way I want to go about this is, you know, just a story of following my character, Officer Steele, Sterling Steele, of, you know, going from recruit all the way up to, you know, chief eventually. Who knows? Who knows where it'll take? Because I don't even know. Because the way with Call of Duty is, you know, you get into a game, you're playing hardpoint, you know, there's an end game. With RP, literally anything can happen. There could be, you know, a bunch of different things happening. I mean, I'll just go through a typical, like, you know, you go in as an officer and then there's bank robberies, there's store robberies, there's, you know, writing people tickets, there's taking them to jail. Like, it can be different every day. And I think that's the aspect that is really hooking. Like, you can get into the city and not know what's going to happen. And I think that's what's super exciting to me as a creator, because I don't necessarily go in there knowing what's going to happen. And I think that's what makes a good video, because sure, in a way, with my Call of Duty videos, because on my channel I do have scripted out videos of, this is how you do this sort of thing, this is how you do tutorials in a way. And I think with GTA RP, it's really just what happens, and I think that's what makes really good content. And let alone in this city, there is a lot of content creators themselves and streamers, so I think they understand the aspect of RP, of it is a story and it's not just like GTA Online, you know, going around and doing stuff
Yeah.
for the hell of it.
Right, right. Absolutely. So with the way that we stood out, you know, we talked about it with our podcast, it was a completely original concept. So with originality driving us to the top of the class, so to speak,
Yep.
what is something entirely unique that you would like to see capitalized on that you haven't seen in recruits, or just something that maybe you've envisioned but you don't know how to capitalize on it yourself, that you think would be super smart for one of these invitational recruits to pick up on?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, without saying too much, I have had people bring me ideas, and I've either given a thumbs up or a thumbs sideways, because any idea is a good idea. It's the way that you
The way that you capitalize on it.
thank you. The way that they capitalize on it, if it will be good or not. So you start with an idea, and then you know, you build off that. So the
Yeah,
idea could be great, but if you don't capitalize on it, it's not going to be a great concept. So I think there's a lot of good concepts that I have been brought that I'm like, that could do it. But also it's like, how do you stand out from 2023 recruits of podcasting? You can't just come in with a podcast and expect to be, oh, that's it right there, because Schmoog and Frosty came up with that idea. So what ideas can you come up with? And, you know, there's many out there. I have some in my head, but I don't want to give people too many ideas, and we'll leave it at that.
fair enough. So I said we would come back to it. Here we are. You know, you're the esports
Yep.
manager of Team Name Loading, the team that you were a part of. Can you
Yes.
share some of the highlights and some of the challenges that you've experienced in the world of COD esports?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am the esports manager, mainly the Call of Duty manager for TNL. And I think, you know, that's a whole different aspect of my GTA RP. Like, Call of Duty was my first initial love and creation of content. And I think now that I'm on the side of managing things, it it is weird, because it is finding players, it is, you know, getting them in tournaments, and I'm still a part of that, but I think I am leaning more towards the, wow, do I want to drop Call of Duty fully and go towards just enjoying my GTA RP? And, like, for myself as a creator, I'm still going to be a manager for my team, because that's the whole point of being on a team, is doing that. So I think it's good to know that I can jump on there and be like, because I'll play ranked with these guys and they'll be like, "Damn, coach, like, you're doing great." And I'm like, I mean, I'm a Call of Duty guy in the end of it. So, and
Absolutely.
we have a lot going on, and and a lot more that people will see throughout the year. So
Yeah. I'm excited to see your guys' journey. And, it's another one of those things, I see all these, damn near movies coming out about like Optic and Phase and the story of Scump and what happened to Karma and, all these different
right,
things that I see posted by all these random channels that I've never seen before. But
right,
the evolution of esports through TNL is going to be something to definitely keep your eyes on. And I'm certainly excited about it. So,
yeah,
continuing on with the content creation that you have going on your channel, we've talked the RPs, we talked the Call of Duty. You host your own podcast, the Level Up Chronicles.
I do.
You have had some major guests in the last few weeks, months, whatever, and the guest list is opening up even more from what I've seen with the activity on everything. So can you tell us about some of the most memorable moments or insights that you've gained from some of your episodes?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when I started this, it was something to get that podcast itch, right? I started it for the creators, for the people listening to this podcast, for people to get their names out there. And kind of like we talked about, when you're in a challenge, you only see the face value of the person. You don't actually see the person themselves and understand who they are. So I think that's initially why I did that. And through Respawn, making connections myself and just networking let myself, I have had quite a few connections for the Level Up Chronicles podcast. So most recently, Stallion, if no one knows who Stallion is, he's a pretty large UK creator. Just from that, I met him, a cold DM. What are you gonna do, right? You send out the DM, say, hey, do you want to be a part of this? And they either respond or they don't. And if they do, great. If they don't, you move on. And Stallion was like, listen to a couple episodes and he's like, hell yeah, let's do it. And I think the value that he brought alone as a full-time creator, now he's a university uh lecturer for kids getting into esports and content creation. Like that's huge. And he came on to the podcast for free advice. Like that's something that these kids are paying to go to school to hear Stallion, and you can hear it for free on Level Up Chronicles podcast. So why not check it out, right?
Absolutely.
And I think it's just more of that to come this year. And Cushion Confessions, it's going to be another great year for us, and I think another great year for anyone that comes on. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we talked about it at the beginning of this episode as we were doing our little intro and, becoming with Respawn, becoming partnered with Respawn. Let me speak full sentences here.
Right.
Opened the door to extensive opportunities, new companies for us to work with, potential like offers to teams, basically anything that could have a light shown on it was shown brightest as soon as Respawn became part of our lives. So what partnerships came about for you, and what opportunities and experiences has it brought you for the world of content creation?
Yeah, absolutely. I think during Respawn, towards the end of it, is when I gained my glitch partnership, because they just saw how hard I was working in the content I was putting out for recruits. And I think that was like my first actual partnership before even Respawn. And they've stuck with me for months now. And just it it's something that you don't think will happen until it happens. Like, and now it's Gamer Advantage, and now it's Elgato. Like I'm like, wait, which one was it again? Elgato. And like there's a lot that will come with it. And I think that goes back to what I was talking about, the confidence. Like the confidence of winning Respawn recruitment challenge gave me the confidence to talk to these other brands and be like, hey, look, I have something that I can bring to the table. And I think even being a part of the challenge says that you have something to bring to the table. Even being invited to this top 100, you guys are bringing something to the table. So it's not like you have to be partnered to get all these other things. It's just you're showing yourself as a creator, and I think that's great for everyone in here so far.
Absolutely. I mean, putting yourself out there and putting yourself in an uncomfortable position, as we spoke on before, it shows that you're willing to take the steps to better yourself, which is what a lot of companies are looking for. They're looking for the opportunity for growth. They aren't looking for, okay, this guy has 10,000. I mean, some companies are, but a lot of companies are looking at, okay, this guy has 10,000 followers, but he's been flatlined at 10,000 followers for the last 8 years, and he's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Right.
A lot of these companies, no matter how big they are, I mean, no disrespect, Schmoog, but neither of us are massive creators. You know what I'm saying? And you have an Elgato ambassadorship, which is a fancy way of saying partnership, but I can work with other companies that do the same shit. Like you're you're partnered with Elgato essentially, and you are, you know,
a small creator.
Right, speaking on yourself in particular, you are partnered with arguably two of the biggest brands in those specific genres categories that you can work with. You're partnered with Elgato and you're partnered with Respawn, and those are two. And I don't know if there's a bigger blue light glasses company than Gamer Advantage, so like I'll throw them in there too. Like
you might as well.
It's gotten to a point where I don't know how you feel, but I can't recognize myself from the beginning of 2023.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, me and you just alone have grown exponentially.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay. Correct us if we're wrong down in the comments. Just let us know. I don't know. We don't understand. Anyways, we have grown massively. There's a word we can use. Massively.
Let me lower my vocabulary.
Massively since the start of 2023, and I think I'm just excited to see people grow in this challenge themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Seeing the growth is going to be one of the greatest, parts of it, and seeing other people achieve such great milestones, because achieving milestones like securing Respawn partnerships, fostering these deals with all of these other companies, I mean, you in particular, you become an inspiration to other members of Team Name Loading, because there were a lot of TNL members that were part of the 2023 class of recruits. And here you are, becoming one of the biggest inspirations for the team, if not the biggest inspiration for the team right now. They're all looking up to you to move forward with their own content careers. So how does it feel knowing that your journey is motivating not only your teammates, but just other content creators in general? You are that person that I want to be like Schmoog. Like, what kind of feeling does that give you?
It's a super humbling experience, because I never, I look up to creators myself, but knowing that someone is looking up to me, I'm like, there's no way, like that's not a real thing. But actually hearing it from those people's mouths, I'm like, I don't know what to say at that point. I'm like, I'm just doing me. I'm just doing what I need to do to like make a name for myself. And if that is motivating you to continue, then that's great. Like people have told me they've wanted to quit content until they saw what I was doing. And then they're like, shit, if Schmoog can do it, he's a family dude married with a 2-year-old kid. If he can do it, I can do it. Like what's stopping you from doing it? I mean, a lot of these people in the top 100, they're family people too, and they have kids and they're doing it. Like, I just think it's, again, you put your mind to it. As cliche as it sounds, how many times do we hear that a day? Put your mind to it and you can do it. But that's literally what we did. Like from the start of Respawn, like manifest that you'll be a partner and you'll get there. It might not be, top 10, but how many partners did we sign after top 9, top 10, right?
Yeah.
Like, because they proved their worth. And I just think it's super humbling myself just knowing that's even what people are looking up to me for. So
yeah, absolutely. And even if it's not just you as a whole, there's a lot of family people that are partnered with Respawn, in the top 100 for recruits invitationals. There's a lot of family people that are going to be joining the 2024 recruits class that, maybe we haven't even heard of yet, that we don't know anything about. And knowing that there's so many family people in the partnership program right now, there's being part of like the Obey Recruitment Challenge now, and in the past when I was going and competing with many of the Obey members now, some of them that I'm still so close with, even though they are in a higher position on paper than me. You know, like, oh, they're a part of Obey Alliance. They're partnered on Twitch. They're partnered on Kick. Their audience is 2, 3, 10 times the size of my own. But they're out here respecting. I'm fucking bleeding somewhere. I got blood all over my hand. They say they respect my work ethic. They respect my hustle. They respect my grind, because I'm out here working 72 to 80 hours a week, and I'm still posting more content than 90% of the people on the timeline. You know, there's aspects where people that I look up to me in aspects, and that's like a fucking conundrum to wrap your head around. But it's like, it's weird knowing that I'm in the same conversation as people that inspired me to start content creation. Is that, you know what I mean?
100% makes sense. Like, yeah, just the fact that your name would be even remotely close to the person that you looked up to 5 years ago when you knew nothing about content creation, like, that's wild. And I think anyone listening to this, you can be that person. Like, you can be that person for someone and you don't even know it yet. So, like, just do it.
You probably are that inspiration for someone. You know, like, by the time the person watching this right now, you got 2, 3, 5 viewers. If you got one viewer watching your stream right now and they're saying, man, I don't know if I want to press that live button, you are the person they are watching, and you are the person that is going to convince them to hit that live button, and no one else can. So entertain your audience, be the most entertaining person you can be, and just inspire. Because the best gratifying thing you can do for yourself is to inspire other people to want to be better for themselves, to want to be better for their community, for whatever they want to be better for, whether it's in life, whether it's a content creation, whether it's literally anything. You are the person who could start that ball rolling for literally anybody. So but that is all I got, guys. So Shmoog, do you have any closing statements? We'll let you close it out. I opened it.
Yeah, no, we're just both super excited to be on this journey with you guys, to get the behind the scenes look at recruits, specifically the invite only invitationals that is coming March 1st through March 31st. Guys, you are not going to want to miss it. You are going to see some sneak peeks on the timeline. You will probably see some before this is even released to you guys. And you know what? Just be ready for an insane month.
Absolutely.
Of straight content.
100 recruits, 4 weeks of absolute pandemonium and chaos, and it's going to be just ridiculous amounts of just
content.
And like, who knows what else? I don't know what else. Shmoog doesn't know what else. I really don't know what's coming, because you guys are in charge. So we're just going to sit back. We're going to have fun. Remember to expect the unexpected, because you can never expect anything with Respawn. They are an absolute troll of a company.
In a good way.
In the best way possible. We love each other. But that's all I got, guys. So I hope y'all had a fantastic time watching the season 2 premiere of the Cushion Confessions. Thank you guys so much. Shmoog's information to all of his socials is going to be in the link below, as well as a direct link to the Level Up Chronicles. Make sure you guys go check out that podcast and the latest episode with Stallion. And that's all I got, guys. So I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. Remember to be kind, spread love, and as always, stay frosty. We'll see you next time. Take it easy and peace out.